Welcome, Mr. Speaker. Kia ora tātou katoa. Me tīmata ki taku kōrero, me tētahi mihi ki te uri o Ngāti Dipton. Tēnā koe, whakatakoto nei, tēnei kōrero, ki mua te aro te whare pāremata o tira, ko tāu mahi, ai te tau te Pāti Māori. Mr. Speaker, can I start by just congratulating the Honourable Bill English for working positively with the Māori Party to support initiatives that matter. Also want to acknowledge the leadership and the courage and the hard work of my colleagues Tariana Aturia and the Honourable Dr. Peter Sharples, who have been focused in their pursuit of real, tangible improvements in the lives of all of our whānau. Budget 2014 is a testament to their absolute belief in whānau. I mihi to them both for their lifelong journey in standing up for what is right, for believing and acting in ways that inspire us all to know that we can make change happen. Mr. Speaker, yesterday, young girl Crystal Te Moana Nui asked me a question which got me thinking. Crystal and her classmates from Thames South School were in Parliament on what she described as a politically inspired hikoi. She asked me, what were some of the difficulties that made you who you are today? And my instant response was to reflect back to a time when I was 10 years old and I lost my dad. As I think about that time, I recall the intense sadness that I had, the sense of loss, and yet, with it, a powerful challenge to become someone that would have made him proud. Mr. Speaker, the point I'm making is that every single one of us in this House, and indeed in this nation, goes through periods of crisis in which it is hard to see tomorrow. The Māori Party hears stories every day of everyday whānau suffering loss, experiencing conflict, and looking for a way forward. Our focus for this budget then has been on keeping it real. We have listened to the stories of the heroes amongst our communities who tell us in plain language what will make the difference. Mr. Speaker, our budget package is built around three strategic themes: building resilience within our whānau, hapu, iwi and communities, maintaining the momentum that we have created while being in a position to do so, and advancing into new spaces for innovation and development. Mr. Speaker, if there is one thing that every New Zealander would know about the Māori Party, it is called whānau ora. Whānau ora at its essence is about providing every opportunity for our families to thrive, to live the life they dream about, making their aspirations real. This budget, sir, extends upon the commitment to whānau ora by a new investment in whānau ora navigators. This serves a logical next phase of the whānau ora approach. The first phase was building the capacity of the health and social service providers to actively respond to whānau goals. We have succeeded in enabling over 47,000 New Zealanders to benefit from creating their own whānau plans and to move to greater self-reliance, doing it themselves. The navigator role is now providing support directly to whānau to determine how best to achieve their life goals in areas as wide as income generation, healthy lifestyles, jobs, information technology, whatever our families seek for themselves. But while they're determining what it is they need, government also has a role in removing any barriers that get in their way. Mr. Speaker, in this year's budget, we're extremely proud of the focus on families and children. This is an emphasis that we have championed over the last 6 years in government, and what we are particularly proud of this year is to see that emphasis carried across into key ministerial portfolios. Mr. Speaker, I want to highlight three specific initiatives we have promoted. Firstly, the need for paid parental leave to be broadened so that permanent guardians and parents in more flexible work arrangements can also benefit. What we know from labour market research is that many Māori and Pacifica women tend to be overrepresented in areas which exclude them from being able to receive parental leave payments. Mr. Speaker, this budget and the subsequent legislation will address that gap. This budget, secondly, increases the parental tax credit, which hasn't been raised since 1999. This is a practical means of supporting low and middle income working families who don't currently receive paid parental leave when they have a new child. And thirdly, we highlighted the investment of $90 million, sir, to offer free doctor's visits and prescriptions for children under the age of 13.
Order. Just take members, please.
This has been a huge priority for us, opening up healthcare. Mr. Speaker, building resilient whānau is also about healthy homes. 16 million has been injected into Māori housing with a particular focus on Māori social housing and rebuilds and repairs in rural communities. Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, can I just ask members to show some courtesy to the members trying to address the House?
Mr. Speaker, thank you. Mr. Speaker, the additional 20 million invested in rheumatic fever prevention brings the government's total investment to more than $65 million over 6 years. I say it's an outstanding approach, which the World Congress on Cardiology also noted last week. Our relationship accord with the National Party also committed to help those most in need to live in warmer, drier, healthier homes. At last count, sir, 112,000 low-income homes have been insulated, which is making a huge difference across all of our communities. Mr. Speaker, keeping it real is also about making it possible for mokopuna to participate in early childhood education. An additional $155 million invested in this area, and it is about reading, writing, arithmetic. I can also say that one of the greatest projects that Peter has inspired in his associate education role is Reading Together, which is now expanded into more than 140 decile 4 and 5 schools, helping parents support their children to read. What can be better than enabling all of our tamariki to have a great start into their education pathway? The second key theme, Mr. Speaker, for the Māori Party in Budget 2014 is on building on those hallmark initiatives that tangata whenua have created. A key announcement for us in this budget is to establish a Māori-focused Centre of Research Excellence. There was huge outrage, Mr. Speaker, across the country when funding was cut for ngā pai o te māramatanga. The Māori Party picked up the challenge and have worked to create the means by which our own mātauranga, our knowledge, our tikanga, our ways of being can be preserved, protected and advanced. We're really excited about this new initiative in rewarding and growing the amazing talent of our Māori research community to help share our future. Another major win for us was in securing $12 million of new funding to support iwi radio, to continue vital work in connecting Māori communities. We've also negotiated funds to achieve precious Māori language content with the support of Te Māngai Pāho. And finally, Mr. Speaker, the last tranche of initiatives we highlighted in Budget 14 are those we describe as advancing into new spaces for Māori development. This budget builds on the Māori economic strategy, He Kai Kei Ako Ringa, by investing new funding of $8 million to support Māori businesses to encourage innovation, strengthen our economic independence and achieve positive social and economic impact. The Māori Innovation Fund will help establish the support and institutions will help to establish the support and institutions we need to lift productivity and our collective performance. It sets in place $6 million to New Zealand Māori tourism to support the industry capability, branding and leveraging Māori tourism and trade. And I'm not one that leaves the best for last, but I'm really excited about the project called Moving the Māori Nation. We've announced $10 million over 4 years to establish a contestable fund to focus on Māori sporting and cultural activities with the goal of contributing to having whānau ora, healthy families. It is now accepted wisdom, Mr. Speaker, that the Māori worldview of well-being is inclusive of physical, spiritual, psychological well-being. This project will support a huge range of traditional Māori games and physical activities such as kiorahi or more contemporary sports and physical activities such as Iron Māori, Try Māori and so on. In keeping with the theme of being real, there are still huge areas to focus on. The Māori Party has advocated long for a living wage to lift the minimum income of families. We are proud we were able to negotiate $5 million for Te Mana o Te Wai, but there's still many other areas of care for our environment that we want to invest in. Mr. Speaker, we've placed enormous priority on cadetships, trade training, and are pleased that this budget adds another $20 million to establish 6,000 apprenticeships, but we still need ongoing investment to address the long-standing employment disparities between Māori, Pacifica and other New Zealanders. And of course, there are a huge raft of issues that we in the Māori Party call social hazards, and we would like to see more focus on alcohol reform, addiction treatment, and gambling prevention. In the end, these are positive initiatives that the Māori Party has seen in Budget 2014. We look forward to building on this into the future.
Kia ora. I call the Honourable Member Honi Harawira. Tēnā koe, Mr. Harawira.
Kia ora, Mr. Speaker.
Member has 10 minutes.
On behalf of the Mana Movement, I rise to speak to this